wild things I've heard people use as makeup. Hey, what can I help you find today? Oh, I'm just looking for more of my eye pens. Like eyeliner, what are you looking for in particular? No, it's these different colored eye pens. My friend uses them, I started using them. They are great as eyeshadow. Oh, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Could you show me a picture? Yeah, sure. Ma'am, these are paint markers. Oh, so where would those be in the store? Try Michael's.
That's like the third time she's come and just stood in the doorway. Yep, it is. Oh, do you want me to do your makeup for you? Yeah, can you do my makeup for me? Sure, do you want to pick out some eyeshadow colors? I do. You have so many fun colors. Mom only has boring colors, like brown. Yeah, I have a lot of colorful makeup. Do you know which colors you want? Can I have pink and purple and blue? Yeah, I can give you all those colors. Okay, thank you. You're so good at this. It doesn't hurt at all. My mom always presses too hard. She also only knows how to do old person makeup. I don't want old person makeup. What do you mean by old person makeup? It's just boring. She doesn't like any colors. She probably doesn't have them because they don't suit her. Yeah, I guess. All right, I'm just about done. Do you think I could get mascara too? Let me see if I can find one. And you can keep this one afterwards too. It's brand new right now, okay? Okay, you're all done. Do you want to go look in the mirror now? Yes, I do. It's pink and purple and blue. Yep, I told you I could get all the colors in. It looks so good. I have to go show my mom. All right, go show her. Oh, hey, did you see her makeup that I did for her? Yeah, I did. About that. It's too much. She's only 11, and you made her look like she's 19. It really is just too much. So next time, could you do more neutral tones on her? I'll keep that in mind.
Storytime. My boyfriend tried to kill me so he could have my life insurance money. So I decided to go on Tinder to look for some potential matches. And lo and behold, a guy named Jared was there. He was adorable, he was charming, and we had multiple cell phone calls before deciding to meet. We met at Red Lobster and it was like fireworks. He was so romantic and looked like a 6-foot-something cowboy. He took me to a wildlife bird refuge after dinner and I instantly fell for him. We dated for months and everything was mostly good. However, he was just very pressuring for things. And I didn't want to take things too fast. I was 21 and he was 31. Eventually, this just gave me some bad vibes, so I decided to cut off the relationship. But a few months later, he called me saying that he couldn't forget me. He had been married before and his wife had passed away, so I felt very sympathetic towards him. He had a really nice job, making over $150K a year, and he said that all he wanted to do was take care of me and my child. So I moved in and things were good again. I would wake up in the morning, he would make me coffee, and I would help him with his kids. But I noticed that my weight was starting to go down. And that's when I realized he was putting something in my coffee. Follow me on Insta and stay tuned for part 2.
Part 2 of how my best friend sent my nudes to my mum. So actually some vital information is at this point in time, I was on crutches. So I was really reliant on my friends at this point. So I went through my day as usual and went to my classes, and then came break. So I did what I usually would do, and I went to the back of the field. Yep, on crutches, I went all the way to the back. When I arrived, there was a weird atmosphere. Everybody, including my best friend, was almost huddled up in a little group, segregated away from me. After standing there awkwardly for 5 minutes, someone finally comes up to me, and not my best friend. He then proceeds to tell me how they don't want to associate themselves with somebody like me. I didn't cry, I turned around, and I left. I walked off of that field, and like for part 3 to find out what happened next.
This is why you should be careful what you put in the mail. In 2015, a man was asked by his neighbor to collect his mail while he was gone for a few weeks. A few days later, a large package arrives on his neighbor's front porch. The man can barely lift it, but gets over to his garage where he accidentally drops it and hears something break inside. Hoping his neighbor would think the damage occurred en route, he closes his squeaky garage door and forgets about it. But over the next couple of days, whatever was in that package started to smell so bad that he decides to open it up. Inside were two very important finds: his neighbor, who was dead, and a camera that was still recording. The police bring the man in for questioning and show him what was on the camera inside the box. It starts with his neighbor talking to the camera about how excited he is to mail himself home for his YouTube channel. Then, police fast forward to the very end where they see that the neighbor is now sleeping in the box, and then suddenly gets dropped and you hear a crack, and that's his neck breaking. And then you hear a squeaky garage door close.
So it's Friday night, it's Roxy's birthday weekend, and we're all going to her house for the first time ever for our group sleepover. So we get there, and honestly, everything seemed really normal at first. Roxy's house was really nice, and honestly, I was confused why she never wanted us there before. So then we start making banana bread, and all of a sudden, Laura jumps and screams and runs to the other side of the kitchen. She's like, "Did you guys feel that?" And we're all like, "What are you talking about, Laura?" She's like, "I swear something just touched my lower back." And Laura's face turned really pale, like she was genuinely scared, and we spend the next hour convincing her that no one was there, no one touched her back. So then we start watching a movie, Disturbia. Shout out to Shia LaBeouf. And Nina goes to the bathroom, and when she comes back, she's like, "Roxy, it looks like something upstairs is maybe leaking because there's this massive wet stain on your bathroom wall." And Roxy's like, "Oh, don't worry, that stain's always there." She's like, "We actually can't figure out where it's coming from. We've had plumbers come and they can't figure it out either. There's no drain or pipe or anything that could be causing a leak at that part of the house anyway." And then Roxy says, "But that's why we think our house is haunted." We all look at her kind of shocked, and she's like, "Yeah, that's why I never invited you guys to sleep over, because it can get kind of creepy." But honestly, at that point, I wasn't that creeped out until we went to bed, because that's when stuff started getting weird.
Part 2 to my boyfriend trying to kill me to get my life insurance money. I was not feeling very well, and my parents were extremely worried about me, especially once they found out I only weighed 88 pounds. I knew I had to have been really, really ill, so my parents drove down 5 hours to rescue me, and I was immediately hospitalized. That's when I was able to put together the full story on what was going on. He started putting all the money that he was making into my bank account, but he didn't let me have access to it. He would take out loans in my name, making it look like I was making money. And my life insurance policy added to $500,000. During this time in the hospital, I was going through severe withdrawals from whatever he was putting into my coffee. But the second I stopped drinking it, I started to gain weight back. I was thinking that maybe he had done this to his previous wife. However, when I looked her up, I found out that she was still alive. They were just divorced. Later, I was able to find out that they even moved back in with each other. Make sure you don't ever get too blinded by love to realize that you're being taken advantage of. Follow me on Instagram, and if you have a story, DM me.
My daughter Savannah is the CEO of faking illness to get out of school. So when she does not feel like being there, she will go to the nurse's office and complain to them that she is really not feeling good, so that they call me and I have to go get her. Well, one day after this happens, I walk into the administrative office and everybody is really concerned because Savannah is sitting in a chair like so dramatically, like, "Hi, Mom." And like when I saw her, I burst out laughing. I was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And everybody looked at me like I was some really bad mom. Like, "Oh my God, why aren't you more concerned?" But as we were walking out, she was walking really slow and actually didn't look good. So even I was a little concerned. I was like, "Oh my God, honey, are you okay?" Until we got to the car when Savannah looks at me and goes, "You know what, Mom? I feel better now." And I was like, "Savannah, are you serious?" And she's like, "Mom, do you maybe want to go to Starbucks and have like a girls' day?" And I was like, "Honey, what kind of question is that? You know I do."
When I was 13 years old, I went to buy my first pair of sexy underwear. And of course I splashed out because I went to Primark and they were only £1. As I left Primark, I walked into the shopping centre and there was a group of 17-year-old boys and they were really fit. So I tried to strut and show off and then I fell over. My bags went flying and thongs went all over the floor. And an old man came and helped me pick them up. And as I gathered myself to leave, one of the fit boys tapped me on the shoulder. And he said, "You missed one," and handed me a lacy thong.
I'm going to try and talk as fast as I can so I can fit this in one part. So, my husband calls me out of the blue on, Wednesday and tells me he needs to open the safe and find our marriage license. Okay. So I'm looking through the paperwork in the safe, passports, birth certificates, you name it. Can't find the fucker. He's like, "Fuck." Me over here, I'm like, "Okay." My mother, apparently, instead of calling and asking, "Hey, I can't find your marriage certificate online. Did you make sure that got filed correctly?" She doesn't ask me, "Hey, Sarah, why did you never change your last name after 5+ years?" That's not how she rolls. She calls my husband, attacking him, saying that because she can't find it online and that I haven't changed my name, she's concluded that clearly we are not actually married. Why, you may ask? Simple, according to her, to keep me out of our business and my credit score out of the bank relationship for our business, and of course to screw me out of any money from our business. He's calm and like, what can I do to prove to you that none of this is true? After she has been super condescending to him and refusing to accept that she may be wrong, she says, show me your marriage license, which I later can't find in the safe because, of course, like for part 2.
Storytime about how I found out that my boyfriend was trying to get with another girl on Valentine's Day. Okay, there's a lot that goes into this story time, so let me break it down for you real quick. I was a sophomore and my boyfriend and I had been dating for about 4 months now, and he was a junior. Well, there was this girl that he was for some reason obsessed with in his Spanish class. She was a freshman, and I know you're probably thinking, oh, well, how did you know he was obsessed with her? Well, he would Snapchat this girl 24/7.
Even his friends told me he was obsessed with her.
So I talked to him and I told him I was uncomfortable with how much he was talking to this girl. And he said, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'll block her. Now, I didn't ask him to do that, but it made me feel more confident in how he felt about me. Well, Valentine's Day comes around, and we didn't talk all day until he came to pick me up. I wished him a happy Valentine's Day and got left undelivered. So we get to the restaurants and we decide to put our phones at the end of the table so that way we would be more focused on each other. Well, he goes to the bathroom and then I see this name pop up on his phone, like for part 2.
Part 2. So, like I said, I saw this name on his phone, and there was something special about this name. So, whenever I kept streaks, I would put the word streak, and then an emoji, and then the person's name. And he got the idea that instead of keeping her name, he would put it as streak. So I was like, that's really fucking weird. And at first I was like, what the fuck? So I opened his phone, and what do you know? It's from that girl. And she was replying back to a big paragraph that he sent her. And we had school that same day. So at 6:30 in the morning, this girl got a big paragraph from my boyfriend about how she's such a beautiful, amazing girl, and that she deserves somebody who's gonna take her out and buy her flowers and stuff, and how if she wanted to go out to dinner, let him know. He took an extremely long time in the bathroom, so the waiter came to our table. So I ordered $300 worth of food for myself. So when he came back, I told him that I had to go call my mom, and I left. And he was stuck with a $400 bill.
Storytime. My boyfriend tried to kill me so he could have my life insurance money. So I decided to go on Tinder to look for some potential matches. And lo and behold, a guy named Jared was there. He was adorable, he was charming, and we had multiple cell phone calls before deciding to meet. We met at Red Lobster, and it was like fireworks. He was so romantic and looked like a 6-foot-something cowboy. He took me to a wildlife bird refuge after dinner, and I instantly fell for him. We dated for months, and everything was mostly good. However, he was just very pressuring for things. And I didn't want to take things too fast. I was 21 and he was 31. Eventually, this just gave me some bad vibes, so I decided to cut off the relationship. But a few months later, he called me saying that he couldn't forget me. He had been married before and his wife had passed away, so I felt very sympathetic towards him. He had a really nice job, making over $150K a year, and he said that all he wanted to do was take care of me and my child. So I moved in and things were good again. I would wake up in the morning, he would make me coffee, and I would help him with his kids. But I noticed that my weight was starting to go down. And that's when I realized he was putting something in my coffee. Storytime. My boyfriend tried to kill me so he could have my life insurance money. So I decided to go on Tinder to look for some potential matches. And lo and behold, a guy named Jared was there. He was adorable, he was charming, and we had multiple cell phone calls before deciding to meet. We met at Red Lobster, and it was like fireworks. He was so romantic and looked like a 6-foot-something cowboy. He took me to a wildlife bird refuge after dinner, and I instantly fell for him. We dated for months, and everything was mostly good. However, he was just very pressuring for things. And I didn't want to take things too fast. I was 21 and he was 31. Eventually, this just gave me some bad vibes, so I decided to cut off the relationship. But a few months later, he called me saying that he couldn't forget me. He had been married before and his wife had passed away, so I felt...
Hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. It does help support us, and let's know what videos you guys want to see.